Hello everybody, welcome back to Reading for Vocabulary. Are you interested in continuing our subject here? We're of course on Unit 4. We're talking about world connections. So it's very interesting looking at different places around the world and also thinking about how people have traveled from place to place. In Lesson 11, we're talking about a quick bite to eat. So we're not going to be focusing on transportation, we're going to be talking about fast food. Because of course, in our lives, as we're very busy traveling from place to place, it's very easy to get food very quickly. And we're talking about fast food in this section. So that will be our reading passage, but again, of course, we need to study the vocabulary that we will encounter in the passage. So let's begin. The first word on our list today is a difficulty or an issue. So if you have a difficulty or if there's some issue that you have to deal with, we call that a problem. Now it's very interesting because I'd like to point out something. Problem and issue have become kind of not interchangeable, but substituted. In America, many people will say issue instead of saying problem. For example, why? Because problem is negative. Issue sounds more neutral. So, for example, Americans, instead of saying, do you have a problem? They will say, is there an issue with this? Because do you have a problem is very direct and sounds negative. But if you change it and you say, is there an issue with this whatever? Then that sounds more neutral. It doesn't sound as rude and it doesn't sound as negative. So it's very interesting. I've noticed over maybe the last 10 or 20 years that Americans have stopped using problem, especially in like polite situations like business situations or things like that. People have stopped using problem and they're starting to use the word issue much more often because problem sounds negative, and problem is negative. If you have a problem with something, that is a negative situation. Issue, though, sounds more neutral or not as negative. Okay, next one. 2, where and how something began. So we think about a game like chess, or we think about a certain type of dress, or a certain type of doing things. Where did it begin? What was the origin? Where did it start? Where did it begin? That's the origin. How and where something began. Number 3, able to be used or taken. Able to be used or taken, we say it's available. If there is a seat empty in a restaurant, you can say, is this seat available? Can I sit there? Can I use it? Can I take it? If you go somewhere and you want to be able to use a piece of equipment. For example, you go to a bowling alley and there's some shoes on the shelf. Are they available? Yes, you can use those shoes to go bowling, right? So are they available? You can use them or you can take them. It is available. Next one, to ask for an item or meal from a business. When you go to the restaurant and you ask for an item or you ask for a meal, right? What are you doing? It's called an order. I think you say in Korean, jumun 했어요? Have you ordered? Have you ordered? Would you like to order? Or if I'm a waiter, right, I say to the customer, would you like to order? Are you ready to order now? If I'm the customer, I say, excuse me, I would like to order now. This is my order, okay? So order, you ask for an item or a meal from a business. Not just in a restaurant. Item, if you're online, you're doing internet shopping, then you also can order products from a business. Order an item, some type of product. So that we say order. That's a specific verb for that action. 5, easy and quick to do. Well, it's very convenient. That word just kind of slid right on in there very conveniently, right? It was easy and quick to do. It's convenient. Modern life is very convenient, isn't it? We just hit some keys on our keyboard and somebody comes to our door and gives us a package. Wow, how convenient is that? We don't even have to leave our house anymore to get items from the store. Okay, next one. Possibly dangerous, not joking. These two men, do they look happy? Well, no, they don't look happy. Doesn't look like their team. Of course, they're dressed very funnily. They're sports fans, obviously. But they don't look happy. They look very serious. They're not joking. And it says possibly dangerous, but I don't want to say that these guys are possibly dangerous. But other situations can be described as serious. For example, conditions outside, weather conditions are serious. That could be possibly dangerous. If you hear that on the news, be careful. If the TV or the radio announcer says weather conditions are serious, that means there's a lot of snow. Maybe there's ice, or maybe there's a lot of rain and there's a possibility of flooding. It could be dangerous. So there are serious weather conditions outside. But serious doesn't always mean dangerous. It can mean, but like these guys, they're not joking, they're not happy, they're thinking about something very hard, they're very serious. But I wouldn't say these guys are dangerous. Okay, it depends on the situation. Okay, next one. Taking almost no time to make. What is this? Of course, that's a ramen, right? It takes almost no time to make. In America, people will usually say instant ramen, or another word for ramen is instant noodles, okay? But we use the word instant because it takes almost no time to make. Now, a long time ago, if you wanted to have noodle soup, you had to take a lot of time. You had to buy the noodles, you had to cook them, boil them for a long time, with water, and then go and get other spices and put that in. It took a while to make that. But with instant ramen, all you do is heat water, pour the water in there, keep it closed for about a minute, open it up and eat it. It's almost no time to make. You don't have to worry. It's already pre-packaged. It's already prepared for you. Okay, so it's very instant. You can make it very quickly. Instant. 8, throughout the world. So something that is spread throughout the world is worldwide. And we use this suffix, this ending for the word quite a bit, right? Worldwide. Company-wide, throughout the entire company, region-wide, nation-wide, throughout the region, throughout the nation, and of course, we're talking about the whole world, worldwide. So wide is a common ending, especially at the end of some type of area, nation, region, company, and when you're talking about an area, to mean that it's throughout the entire area, throughout the world, throughout the company, throughout the nation, worldwide, company-wide, nationwide. Okay. 9, mashita. Are you hungry? This looks like a good snack. And it's a healthy snack too, isn't it? It's a fruit that comes from tropical countries like the Philippines, Thailand, especially Hawaii, right? Hawaii has specialized in growing these, right? What is it? What kind of fruit? It's a pineapple. Pineapple. Of course, they're not apples that grow on pine trees. A different kind of tree, right? I'm not sure where the word pineapple came from, but it's a special kind of fruit that grows in tropical countries. Pineapple, good snack, good food for a snack. Okay, next one. A liquid that goes with another food. So a lot of foods that you'll eat, especially if you go to like a restaurant like TGI Fridays or some other place like that, and you have chicken wings, they usually have some other, it's like a liquid. It's a very thick liquid, right? It's not a liquid, it's not like water, although some can be thin. It's called a sauce. A sauce, usually they're kind of thick, and you dip your food into it, right? A liquid that goes with another food. So you either dip your liquid into it or you pour it on top of your meal. And that, of course, is a sauce. Next one, speed in action. This person is in a hurry. In a hurry. So that's a common expression in English. When somebody is moving quickly, they're walking quickly, they're acting, or it doesn't even mean they're moving from one place to another. You could be sitting at your desk working quickly. You are in a hurry. So in a hurry means to do something quickly or means to do something very fast. Okay, next one. The amount of food eaten for one meal. So if you only eat one of these bowls and that's your entire meal, we call that a serving. One serving. Usually people will say, it's Actually, not usually. It's just say, I'll have the steak and fries. That's one serving of a steak and fries. Or I'll have a bowl of soup. That's one serving. If you want 2 servings, that means you have another bowl of soup. So 1 serving, 2 servings. There are 2 servings here. So the amount of food eaten for 1 meal. Okay? Sometimes people will have a lot of servings for their meal, right? But it's a serving. Okay? It's typical. But some people are so hungry, they want more than the typical amount, so they have another serving. Okay? 13, a business that has many copies of its stores. Of course, you guys know McDonald's. McDonald's is everywhere, right? They're in almost every, I think they're in every country except for North Korea, but they're almost everywhere in the world, right? A business that has many copies of its stores, we call McDonald's a chain store. And there are many types of chain stores. Of course, McDonald's is perhaps the most famous one because it's the most popular one. But there's other different restaurants. I mentioned TGI Fridays before. TGI Fridays is a chain restaurant. Outback is a chain restaurant. But it's not just restaurants. It can also be stores, right? For example, you could have like Macy's. Macy's could be a chain store in different cities, right? Because they're a large department store. They're not just in New York. There are also many other cities in America. So a department store could be a chain store. Lots of different businesses that have shops in different areas or different regions, they are also called chain stores. Okay, the next word here is kind of funny, cow meat. Now, of course, we don't say cow meat in America. That's a very strange word. It's kind of like saying pedagogy for fish, right? That sounds weird. No, you say bulgogi or you say sengsan, right? So you have special words for different types of meat. And if you say cow meat in America, people will understand. They'll just think, oh, that sounds funny. It's like me going into a restaurant and saying, yes, I would like some pedagogy, please. The restaurant people will probably understand what I mean, but they'll think, whoa, this American is strange. You know some weird Korean, right? So don't go to America and say, I'd like some cow meat, right? Say you would like some beef, right? Sogogi is beef in English, okay? Okay, next one is 15. What you put on top of food. So things that you put on top of food, especially on top of ice cream, right? These are probably things that you put on top of ice cream. You getting hungry? We call them toppings, right? So especially if you go to a place like Baskin-Robbins, sometimes they'll have different toppings on your ice cream, but especially Cold Stone, near the Cold Stone ice cream chain store, they have many different toppings that you can put on your food. It's not just ice cream. Again, it could be a meal, it could be steak, it could be pasta. What is the topping that you put on it? Especially pizza. When you think about pizza, has many different toppings, and you choose which topping you want on your food. Next one is 16. Made ready to use before it's needed. So if you make something now, but you don't need it now, you need it an hour from now, or you need it maybe tomorrow, what do? It's prepared. You prepare that food, so after you prepare it, it is prepared. And by the way, it's not just food, okay? You could prepare other things. For example, you could prepare your homework the night before it's due. Is your homework done? Yes, it's prepared for tomorrow. So something that's prepared is made ready to use before it's needed. The teacher doesn't need your homework at 10 o'clock at night, right? The teacher needs your homework the next morning, but you should prepare it the night before so it's done. Your mother does the same thing when she cooks meals, right? Many moms will prepare meals, they'll put them in the refrigerator and then take them out and warm them up for the dinner because many moms are busy these days. Sometimes though, they'll prepare a meal for a few hours before dinner time, right? So they might start cooking at 4 p.m., but you don't eat until 6, right? So that's prepared. They prepared the meal for you. Okay. Let's go over the words. What are the words that we've just learned? How well do you remember them? Let's go over the exercises. The first one, number 1, I beep a new sweater. It will come in the mail soon. It will come in the mail soon. So what do you do you know, a new sweater. Could be anything really, but it'll come in the mail soon. What word did we talk about that would fit here? A, grabbed, B, made, C, ordered, D, sold. Well, A, grabbed just means to go and grab something. If you grabbed a new sweater, it's not going to come in the mail soon. You have it in your hand. You grabbed it, right? So, and you shouldn't grab things. That's not polite. Okay, so not grabbed. B, I made a new sweater. If you made the sweater, you have it, right? It's not going to come in the mail. You have it now. So made doesn't fit. I ordered a new sweater. Ah, that makes sense, right? You ordered the sweater on the computer or you order it on the phone, and then the company will send it to you in the mail. So that's the answer. I ordered a new sweater. It will come in the mail soon. What about D? I sold a new sweater. I sold a new sweater? That doesn't make sense because it will come. If you sell a sweater, you're going to send it through the mail. It's not going to come to you. You're going to send it away. So that doesn't make sense. Okay. Number 3, I'm sorry, but we have no tables, beep. Okay, remember when we talked about this word, I used the example of the chair. If there is a chair that is empty, that you can use it, right? It is what? Well, the same thing about a table. You go into a restaurant and there is an empty table, right? Nobody is sitting there, then that table is what? But if you go in the restaurant and the waiter says, I'm sorry, but we have no tables for your use, no tables out, no tables instant, no tables serious, or no tables available. Well, right away we can see available. I'm sorry, but we have no tables available. No tables are ready for your use. Not out, not instant, that doesn't make sense, and not, we have no tables that are serious. That's just silly, right? So, I'm sorry, but we have no tables available. This one we see right away. No tables that are ready for your use. No tables available. 6, that was a beep test. I don't know it would be so hard. And of course we have a or an because some of the answers start with a vowel. One answer starts with a vowel. So what was it? That was a what kind of test? A what kind of test is a hard test? What kind of test is a hard test? A difficult test? 어렵다운, right? 힘들어요, right? A quick test? No. Hard tests are not quick. B, a convenient test. Convenient means easy, so that's not true. It's a hard test. It's an instant test. Instant and quick are similar, right? But that doesn't make sense. It was a serious, it was a serious test. It was difficult. Remember, serious doesn't always mean dangerous. A test cannot be dangerous, but it can be very difficult or severe, right? Serious. It can be a serious test. That teacher is not joking around. The teacher is very serious about us learning the material. So that was a serious test. It was a difficult test. 7, don't forget, 気をかじませよ, right? Don't forget, dogs had their beep as wolves. Now, this one is interesting. You have to think about this a little bit. But what you need to know, of course, and I mentioned this in a previous lesson a long time ago, all dogs, all modern dogs now, came from wolves, right? So all modern dogs descended from wolves. So you think about your dog at home, right? Whether it's a beagle or it's a husky, a big dog, you know, their ancestors were wolves. A long time ago, there were no dogs that people had as pets. There were wolves. And all those wolves, their babies, after many generations, evolved into different types of dogs. Dogs that people have in their homes. So dogs had their what as wolves? That has their future, had their origin, had their problem, or had their mistake. Well, remember, how and where something, or how and when or where something got started is their origin. How did dogs come about? Well, their origin is wolves, right? After thousands of years of breeding, human beings have helped wolves or made wolves evolve into dogs, right? So the origin, but all dogs came from wolves. So dogs' origin is wolves. Not future, that doesn't make sense. Not problem, that's weird. And mistake. Problem and mistake are similar, but they don't fit here. The best word, of course, is origin. All modern dogs had their origin as wolves. Very interesting. Okay, well that wraps up the vocabulary part of this lesson. Let's take a short break. We'll come back and let's go over the reading passage together. So don't go away. Hello and welcome back. We have a yummy reading passage for you. Yummy, right? It's 맛있어요. Okay, we're talking, of course, about fast food. Let's take a look at the first few sentences. It's quick, tasty, and cheap. And you can find it almost anywhere. Fast food is the #1 choice for anyone in a hurry. So, what we have are some descriptive sentences about fast food. That's our topic of this reading passage. We have some descriptive sentences, description adjectives. What are some adjectives? It's quick, it's tasty. Be careful with the word taste. I hear a lot of Konglish. People will say, this cupcake tastes. Tastes? Tastes what? Okay, if you use the verb taste, to taste, you have to have an adjective after it. So if you say, it tastes, you can't just stop. You have to say what? It tastes good. It tastes sweet. It tastes sour. And remember, it can be good or bad. It tastes bad. So taste as a verb is neutral. It doesn't mean good or bad. It tastes good, it tastes sweet, it tastes sour, it tastes bad. But if you say tasty, that's an adjective, and that only means good. So you can say, it is tasty, right? That means it's good. 맛있어요. I like it. But don't say, it tastes. It tastes what, right? Okay, so remember, be careful between the adjective and the verb. I hear many mistakes in that area. Okay, so anyway, let's move on. So it's quick, it's tasty, it's delicious, 맛있어요, it's good, and it's cheap. Cheap means it doesn't cost a lot of money. It's not expensive. So quick, tasty, cheap. And it can find it almost anywhere. It's everywhere, right? It's in the stores, every store that you find. There's many chain restaurants that you can go to. You can find it almost anywhere. People sell it on the streets. Fast food is the number one choice. That's a common expression in English. It's the #1 choice. It means it's the most popular choice, right? It's the #1 choice for anyone in a hurry. Anybody who's quickly going from one place to another. Very busy. 시간 없어요. I don't have a lot of time, so I'm going to eat something quickly. I'm in a hurry. Okay, quick meals like ramen, pizza, and hamburgers are becoming popular across the world. Not only is fast food convenient, it's delicious too. Not only, but too in this case. Okay, let's go over this. So we're going to see some examples of fast food. Quick meals is the same as fast food. Quick meals equals fast food, right? Quick meals equals fast food. So quick meals, fast food, like ramen, you know ramen. Pizza, of course you know pizza. And hamburgers, hamburgers are very popular. These 3 examples of fast food are becoming popular across the world, worldwide, in every part of the world. All countries know about ramen. All countries know about pizza. All countries know about hamburgers. Okay? These are foods that have become popular all over the world. Now, this is an interesting expression. Not only, usually after not only, then we have but. But in this case, we have a different one. Not only is fast food convenient, it's delicious too, or also. You could use also in this case too. Not only. So it's not only convenient, it's also delicious. That's a common structure for a sentence, right? So you're going to describe 2 important things about your subject. In this case, fast food. We want to say 2 things about it. 1, we want to say it's convenient. 2, we want to say it's delicious. So we can use this construction. Not only is it convenient, but it's also delicious, or it's delicious too. You can use to or also. Next one. Pizza is one of the oldest prepared foods, but modern pizza with tomato sauce is a fairly recent invention. It started in Italy around the 17th century and has quickly become a world favorite. So we're looking at pizza here, and we think pizza is a fast food nowadays because it has been prepared beforehand in many cases, and then they can send it to us, or they can cook it really quickly. But it's one of the oldest prepared foods. In other words, a prepared food is a food that has been prepared beforehand, right? But modern pizza with tomato sauce is fairly recent. So a long time ago, hundreds of years ago, if you went to Italy and you asked for pizza, you would get something much different from what you would get if you ordered pizza from Papa John's today in modern times. Okay, that's the idea here, right? Because modern pizza has tomato sauce. They're saying a long time ago, pizza didn't have tomato sauce. What? Pizza without tomato sauce? Oh. Well, strange. No, but it's good. Actually, it's good. There's some types of pizza like margherita pizza. It's very good. Doesn't use tomato sauce. Okay, is a fairly recent invention. Anyway, what they're saying is that the invention putting tomato sauce on pizza is fairly new. It's a new invention. It started in Italy. So the first time it was done was in Italy around the 17th century and has quickly become a world favorite. So pizza has spread across the world very quickly. Although, 17th century, you think, that's still a long time, okay? But anyway, that's what they're talking about. Pizza is probably one of the oldest fast foods around, is basically what they're saying here. Now you can order pizza with almost any topping you want. Fish, pineapple, and spinach on goat cheese, you got it. So of course, pizza with tomato sauce, they say it's fairly recent invention, invented in the 17th century. But nowadays, right, not back then, but nowadays, you can order pizza with almost anything you want on that pizza. People order fish on their pizza. Pineapple? Ugh, I never understood that. A lot of people like that. But I say, hey, we're ordering pizza, no pineapple. I don't want pineapple on my pizza. Pineapple is what I eat alone by itself, but not on pizza. Anyway, different people have different tastes. Okay, and spinach. Spinach, you can do that. Goat cheese that's unusual, but some people do that. You got it. Basically, anything you want to put on pizza, I've seen it all. I haven't actually seen it in person, but I've seen it on television, and I've seen it on menus at different restaurants. There are some strange pizzas out there. Of course, the most common pizza is probably just cheese and pepperoni, right? That's the most common pizza. Anyway, but you can get lots of different toppings. Okay, now let's take a look at somebody making pizza since we're talking about this. This is a guy making pizza. First, he makes the dough of the pizza, right? He throws it around, gets it ready, and then he's going to put some tomato sauce on here next, I believe. Yep, that's what he does. Puts the tomato sauce on the pizza. So this guy's about to make pizza. So after they prepare the pizza, then they throw it in the oven here. They've got these long paddles, right? Looks like you put cheese on top of that. So that's a tomato sauce and cheese pizza. Puts it in the back. Excuse me. He takes the other one here, and he's going to pull it out. We'll be able to see that. Well, no, he's not going to pull it out. But anyway, he will pull it out, and he'll have the pizza on that paddle, on that big tool that he can reach in the oven and grab the pizza. And usually they can make pizza like this very quickly. Within 30 minutes, maybe 20 minutes is all it needs if the oven is very hot. You getting hungry? Yeah, I'm getting hungry too. Okay, let's move on. Hamburgers are not made of ham. That's kind of funny because hamburgers, people think hamburger, but there's no ham on the burger, right? Ham is dwaji-gogi, right? But hamburgers use sogogi, beef, right? Hamburgers are not made of ham, as their name would make you think. They're made with beef, okay? So it's kind of funny. It's kind of ironic when you think about it. Ironic. Ironic means something unusual, something unexpected, something that's like the opposite of what you would expect. You hear the name hamburger, you think, oh, it's a sandwich with ham in it. No, it's a sandwich with beef in it. Why? Well, we'll explain in a bit. But first of all, hamburgers are not made of ham. Ham, of course, is dwaji-gogi, and they are made of beef. Beef is sogogi. Okay, next one. Why? Why is it true that way? Because the word hamburger comes from the name of a German city, but the hamburger was actually invented in America. No one agrees on exactly who invented it, but most people think it was in the early 1900s. Now, I don't know. Like it says, nobody knows, nobody agrees. There's lots of different ideas about who invented the hamburger, but the word hamburger comes from the name of a German city. And if you look at a map of Germany, you'll see a big city. It's a large city in Germany. It's called Hamburg. And maybe, nobody really knows, but maybe a German immigrant who came from Germany to America, maybe he invented it and he wanted to call it, maybe he knew this food because he had it in his hometown of Hamburg. Right? And so he invented it and he called it after his hometown. Maybe. Nobody agrees on really why, but that's a theory. By the way, there's another food that's very common, and that's a Frankfurter. And it's interesting, Frankfurt is another word for hot dog. But Frankfurt is also the name of another big city in Germany. Isn't that amazing? So you think about America, a lot of people think, oh, American food, hamburgers and hot dogs, right? Isn't it strange, ironic, that the two most famous American foods are named after cities in Germany? Very interesting. How did that happen? Nobody agrees on exactly who invented it or how it came about. So those are very interesting stories about those two types of food. Anyway, so the hamburger was actually invented in America. Of course, a lot of Germans came to America probably around that time. No one agrees, nobody knows. I said that a couple times. Nobody agrees, so nobody's really sure. Nobody can say 100% why, but it's just interesting. On exactly who invented the hamburger, but most people think it was in the early 1900s. Again, this is a time when many immigrants were coming over from Europe to America. So probably somebody brought it with them from Germany. Not only the hamburger, but also the Frankfurter. Okay, the Frankfurter or hot dog. Okay. Fast food chains like McDonald's and Burger King have made hamburgers famous worldwide. You can walk into a McDonald's and order a Big Mac in almost any country in the world. Interesting, okay? So fast food chains, we talked about chains, chain stores, chain restaurants, chain businesses. Fast food chains like McDonald's, Burger King. You know Burger King. I think Burger King went out of business in Korea actually, but it used to be very common in Korea. I remember seeing them, but I haven't seen them for several years. Somebody told me that they went out of business in Korea. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but I haven't seen a Burger King in Korea for a long time. Okay, maybe there's some out there, maybe you know, but I haven't seen them. Okay, but anyway, have made hamburgers famous worldwide. These two chains, McDonald's is number one, Burger King is like a number two competitor, or very close competitor. They're all over the world. I mean, like I said before, you can find McDonald's in almost every country in the world. I know they're not in North Korea, but I think almost every other country, maybe some other countries in the Middle East, they're not in there. But maybe a few, but almost every country has a McDonald's. Interesting. You can walk into a McDonald's and order a Big Mac. So basically what they're saying is the menu is pretty much the same in every McDonald's. Here's a McDonald's in China. If I go into McDonald's in China, the menu is going to be almost exactly the same as if I go into a McDonald's in downtown Kansas City in the middle of America, right? Or if I go into a small town like Elko, Nevada, and go into the McDonald's, it's going to be the same menu as the McDonald's in Paris, France, or in Beijing, China, right? It's going to be the same in almost any country in the world. Okay? But it's interesting though, McDonald's does change their menu a little bit depending on the country they're in. They might have some special items that the local people like. But it's all fast food, of course. Okay. In 2009, McDonald's opened 1,000 new restaurants. That's more than 2 every day. You think about that. How many days are there in a year? 365. But they opened 1,000 new restaurants in 1 year. So it's more than 2 every day. 365 plus 365 is 730. Did I do my math right? 730. That's only 730. 1,000 is more than 730. So that's more than 2 new restaurants every day, if you think about it. It doesn't mean that they did it on average 2 per day. I mean, they could have opened, 400 in 1 month alone. But it means when people say that, they're just kind of spreading it out over the year, right? 1,000 new restaurants, that's more than 2 every day. But it's not real. We don't know. They didn't say if all of those restaurants were opened in the first half of the year or the second half of the year or in 1 month or, how they were spread out. We're just saying it's more than 2 every day. A lot of businesses will do that. We sold 2 million units since the beginning of this year. That's more than, 10,000 a month, right? Whatever. So that doesn't mean that they do it regularly. It just means that if you think about it, you put the numbers in some kind of idea that we can imagine or that we can sympathize with. That's an interesting idea. Okay. Ramen instant noodles. So we've talked about pizza, we've talked about hamburgers, now let's talk about ramen. And it's interesting because at the beginning of the reading passage, remember, the 3 examples they used were ramen, pizza, and hamburgers. So they're doing the same thing. They're going to concentrate on those 3 examples and let us know about them. However, you will notice that the order is mixed up, right? At the beginning, they talked about ramen first, pizza second, hamburgers third. But the order in which they presented it in the reading passage was pizza first, hamburgers, and now ramen. Now, probably if you're going to write like this, don't mix up the order. If you're going to give the examples, right, give the examples in the same order that you describe them in your reading passage. So I'm not too happy about the order of this reading passage, but for your knowledge and for your practice, if you do write, keep the same order, right? If you're going to if you're going to mention your 3 examples in the beginning, in the introduction of your writing, then keep the same order. Don't mix it up like this one did. Okay, that's just a good point for you. Anyway, ramen instant noodles are another favorite fast food. Not just available in restaurants, ramen can be made quickly by anyone. Okay, so now we're talking about ramen. Ramen instant noodles are another favorite fast food. A good way to introduce a new subject. Another fast food is ramen. Not just available in restaurants. Then they use a semicolon here. Ramen can be made quickly by anyone. Now, usually a semicolon is used to connect 2 independent clauses. In other words, 2 independent sentences. Now, that's not what happened here. Not just available in restaurants. This should actually be a comma, not a semicolon. So be careful about that, because a semicolon, this would have to be a complete sentence by itself. Okay? So that's a good point there. So that's a little bit of a mistake. Not just available in restaurants, comma, ramen can be made quickly by anyone. This is a complete sentence, so that's no problem. But this one is not. Okay? Ramen can be made quickly by anyone. Okay, continuing on with ramen. All you need is some hot water. Ramen has its origins in China, but the instant version was invented in Japan. Now more than 94 billion servings are eaten worldwide every year. Okay, so they're talking about ramen. Ramen is very easy to make. All you need is hot water. That's it. All you need is hot water. Well, of course, you need the ramen prepared in the cup, but all you need to prepare it or to eat it is hot water. That's all you need to do to make it ready to eat. Ramen has its origins in China. It means the idea of ramen, right? The basic food was invented in China. That's where it got started. But the instant version, so ramen in China, what they're talking about is not the instant version. It's probably the version that takes a little bit longer to make, more preparation. The instant version was invented in Japan. I remember reading the story a long time ago about that. Japanese guy was looking at how people were eating the noodles from China, the Chinese ramen, and they really liked it. And he was trying to think of, well, how can I make it so it's so convenient? People can carry it around with them, and they don't have to spend a lot of time to make it. And he was the one who invented or perfected the process of instant ramen noodles, that all you have to do is add hot water. And his idea was very successful. Now more than 94 billion servings are eaten worldwide every year. That's crazy. How many people are there in the world? Last I heard there were 7 billion. That might be getting closer to 8 billion these days. I'm not sure. I haven't checked for a while. But about 7 billion people in the world. That's a lot more. Of course, it means that, those people are eating more than just once a year. They're eating a lot more than just once a year. And not everybody is eating ramen either. But still, that's a lot if you think about it, because there's only 7 billion people in the world. 7 billion people in the world. So if they, and only a percentage, not all of those people are eating ramen. So some people are eating a lot of ramen, if you think about it. Okay? It's eaten all over the world, not just in one area, but all over the world every year. Eating fast food every now and then is fine, but eating too much can lead to serious health problems. So it's probably better to walk past that McDonald's, go home, and get yourself a good, healthy meal. So we just talked about how many servings of ramen are eaten every year. That's a lot. I said a lot of people, some people are eating a lot of ramen. But now we're getting into an area in the passage where we're not talking about different types of fast food. We're talking about all fast food, and it's kind of a warning. Eating fast food every now and then is fine. Every now and then means sometimes. Not always. Not usually, not every day, but maybe once a week or twice a week. Sometimes, every now and then. Not habitually, not every day, every now and then. It's okay, that's fine. But eating too much can lead to serious health problems. If you eat ramen every day, twice a day for both of your meals, that can lead to serious health problems. You're not getting enough nutrition. You're not eating a well-balanced meal. As we know from previous lessons, you should eat a healthy, balanced meal to become strong, right? If you want to be a strong athlete, for example, in the Olympics, food is one of the important things you have to consider. So don't just eat fast food. So therefore, as a result, it's probably better to walk past that McDonald's. That means if you see the McDonald's, think about it. If you've eaten a lot of McDonald's lately, maybe you just walk past that McDonald's. Don't stop there. Just keep going. Go home. Get yourself a good, healthy meal. Make your own meal or ask mom to make a meal for you because that will be much healthier than what they're making at McDonald's. It's kind of funny, I'm an American. I've been living in Korea for a long time, but I can't remember going to a McDonald's for many, many years. I don't like fast food restaurants, personally. And, some people think, oh, you're American. Don't you go to McDonald's all the time? It's like, no, I hate McDonald's. It's not healthy. And I don't mean I hate McDonald's. I mean, it's good food once in a while, but I don't want to eat there. I'd rather eat something more healthy or healthier, right, than to eat fast food at these fast food restaurants. So I usually choose a slower restaurant, or I'll go home and have something at home, which is much healthier than the fast food. So you should also do the same. Don't eat too much fast food. Once in a while, every now and then, yes, it's good, but not too much. Okay, let's go over the reading comprehension. What is this story about? This story is about what? What were we talking about in this story? A, the history of food. B, popular fast food across the world. C, instant meals. D, fast food chains. What was the overall topic of this reading passage? Was it about the history of food? No, because we only talked about one type of food. We talked about fast food. Now, we could say it's not really about the history either, because it wasn't about the history, it was about features of fast food or example types of fast food. So for two reasons, A is not a good answer. B, this story is about popular fast food across the world. Well, think about that. The passage was about ramen, pizza, and hamburgers, not necessarily in that order, but it was about those three types of fast food and how popular they are around the world. So that fits. B. B is our answer. This story is about popular fast food across the world. Not about instant meals, not really about that. And fast food chains, no, we didn't talk about fast food chain stores. The only fast food chain store was McDonald's that they mentioned. And as far as instant meals, again, pizza really isn't an instant meal, nor are hamburgers. Ramen is, but not the other two. So B is our best answer. This story is about popular fast food across the world. Next, modern pizza. So we have 4 choices. Which statement is true about modern pizza? Modern pizza what? A, is an old invention. B, can come with many toppings. C, can only be found in Italy. D, used to use tomato sauce, but doesn't anymore. Okay, well, right away we can see a couple of them that don't fit, right? Used to use tomato sauce, but doesn't anymore? That's not true. Most pizza that you order has tomato sauce on it, okay? Especially nowadays, modern pizza. So used to use tomato sauce, but doesn't anymore? That means you can't find pizza with tomato sauce, but that's not true. I said most pizzas, not all pizzas, but most pizzas do use tomato sauce. So D is not right. Can only be found in Italy? Right away we can see that's kind of silly because, hey, we can order, we're in Seoul, Korea, right? Or we're in a city in Korea. We can order Papa John's or Pizza Hut and have it delivered to us. It doesn't come from Italy. It would be old and cold by the time it got to us. So we can find it in Korea. We can find it in almost any country in the world. So that's not true. Modern pizza is an old invention? Well, it's modern. It's not old, so that doesn't fit. Modern pizza can come with many toppings. That's what we talked about, right? We said when we were talking about pizza, we said that modern pizza nowadays, right, you can find it with almost any kind of topping you like. And I made a joke about pineapple topping, right? But you can find it with fish toppings, anchovies especially, or spinach and goat cheese, right? All sorts of different things people will put on pizzas. Sometimes people will make a pizza look like nachos, right? They'll put chips and guacamole and sour cream on top of the pizza. That's getting weird, right? But anyway, that's modern pizza. Can come with many toppings. Okay, next one. The Hamburger, from Hamburg, Germany. The hamburger was invented in America, but what? A, it used to be made from ham. B, it was originally from Germany. C, no one knows exactly who invented it. D, in the 1900s, they started being made with beef. Okay, now what did the reading passage say? Well, according to the reading passage, which is true? It used to be made from ham? No, the reading passage didn't say that. The reading passage said, you know, people think it was made of ham, but it's made with beef. It didn't say it used to be made with ham. It says it's made with beef, despite the name. It was originally from Germany. That's kind of a trick, right? Hamburg is the name of a city in Germany. So we're not sure if it came from Germany because nobody agrees on it. So we can't say that. But look at this. See, no one knows exactly who invented it or where they came from, right? So that's the answer. But no one knows exactly who invented it. Maybe it was from Germany, but we don't know for sure. That's what the passage said. No one knows exactly who invented it. That's almost exactly what the passage said. And D is not right. In the 1900s, hamburgers started being made with beef. No, that's not right either. Okay? C, the passage said no one knows who actually invented it. So we're not really sure about the origin of the hamburger or why it is named after a city in Germany. I'm hungry. Why is it named after a city in Germany? Nobody knows exactly why. Okay, next one, last question. Ramen instant noodles. What's true about ramen instant noodles? Which statement is true? We have 4 choices. 1, A, ramen instant noodles were invented in Japan. B, are mostly popular only in China. C, are very healthy for you. And D, are eaten by 94 million people every year. Let's start from the bottom and go up this time. Ramen instant noodles are eaten by 94 million people every year. 94 million people, they're trying to trick you here. The reading passage said 94 billion servings are eaten every year, right? Not 94 million people, right? 94 billion servings. Okay, remember, serving is one meal. It's the amount of food in one meal. That's what the passage said. They're trying to trick you with using similar numbers, right? But if you look at it, they didn't say people, they said servings. Okay, and the number is different too. They're trying to trick you with million and billion. Okay, C, are very healthy for you. Okay, so D is wrong. C, are very healthy for you. Well, remember what they said, don't eat too much ramen, right? Because it's not good for you. Not just ramen, but also hamburgers and pizza, right? It's not healthy for you, so that's not the right answer. Ramen instant noodles are mostly popular only in China. No, the reading passage said these 94 billion servings are eaten by people worldwide, right? Not just only in China, so that's not right. That leaves us with A. Ramen instant noodles were invented in Japan. Yes, their origin was in China. Yes, that's true. They were invented, right? They come from a Chinese food. But ramen instant, we're talking about instant noodles, those were invented in Japan. And that's what the reading passage said. Okay, so again, we have to be very careful. Be careful about the details that we read in the reading passages to be able to catch the right answers on the quiz afterwards. Okay, well, are you hungry? I'm hungry too. We're reading about ramen, hamburgers, and pizza, right? Now I'm hungry for pizza. How about you? Anyway, be careful. Don't eat too much fast food, right? Every now and then it's good for you, but not too much. Okay, well, we'll see you guys next time. Take care.